Hello and welcome, fellow film buffs. I'm Zach Droll, and I'm joined by my co-host and fellow cinephile, Hunter Vanalerup.
What's up?
We are the box office losers. Each and every week, we deep dive into the movies here to watch or review any and all films ever grace your screen or the silver screen. This week, we're talking about Mallrats.
I thought you said you were over your cough, and then you give me a...
Listen, I've been eating spicy Wendy nugs, so my throat's like...
Spicy Wendy Nugs and Monster. Who are you? The perfect man?
If only.
It's Apollo. We gaze upon him.
Jesus Christ. So guys, we're talking about Mallrats today.
Another movie in the View Askewniverse. Hell yeah, dude. We did Clerks, and now we're here.
So I mentioned this in my mid-movie notes. I'm going to mention it here. If you really think about it, Captain Marvel is canon in the View Askewniverse.
Why?
And so the Stanley cameo in Captain Marvel, he is reading the script to Mallrats.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that doesn't mean Mallrats is canon in... Captain Marvel isn't canon to Mallrats. That means Captain Marvel has a canonical Mallrats movie in its timeline. The MCU has a Mallrats. That's what it means.
I know, but I'm saying that means she's canon to technically, in a way, the outside world of the View Askewniverse.
The View Askew adjacent.
Yeah, so so Marvel, that means there are superheroes technically in the View Askew world.
Adjacent, yeah.
That's pretty cool to think about.
Yeah. That's just a big old Kevin Smith move. Plus Stan Lee is a super fun dude.
Yes.
So
as we'll tell when we talk about stuff.
Oh yeah.
So before we get into stuff, if the notes are fucked up, that's on me. That's because I had to do the notes today.
Yeah.
And
my coworker got sick with the Rona, so I've been doing a lot more work at the shop. So I didn't really have time to do the full notes. I did do the rest of it though. I didn't give you that much to do.
I know, but for me, I go notes. Okay.
Yeah, because I've been doing them for the last 20 or so episodes, so I know what to pick out and put in here.
And I don't. I just go. Well, I think I did it for.
This looks good.
I did it for Halloween. I know that.
Oh yeah, you did it for because I did Halloween too, or vice versa.
Yeah. But all right, Hunter, do you want to get into that overview and the cast? Because I can't read last names to save my fucking life.
Yeah, and there's a couple weird last names in here. So, Mallrats is a 1995 American romantic buddy comedy film written and directed by Kevin Smith, starring Jason Lee, Jeremy London, Shannen Doherty. Oh, there's a lot of cast members here. We'll get to the cast in a sec. It is the second film in the View Askewniverse after 1994's Clerks, although chronologically, Mallrats takes place a day before.
Yes.
That's cool.
Which is weird when you see, I guess, technically, Dante's character.
Yeah.
Well, not character, but actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I realized that because they talk about the girl's death,
mm-hmm.
and how she died from a backstroke. A backstroke?
Oh wait, that's the same chick?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool. I did not put that together.
Yeah, because, yeah, I now it kind of makes sense, but also it doesn't make sense in the fact of which that, both, Jay looks fucking old as hell in this movie.
Jay looks a bit older, but Dante looks younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, so, let's get to the cast members. So, Shannen Doherty plays Renee Moser. Jeremy London plays T.S. Quint. Jason Lee is Brody Bruce. Claire Forlani is Brandy Svenning. Ben Affleck is Shannon Hamilton. Joey Lauren Adams is Gwen Turner. Renee Humphrey is Trisha Jones. Jason Mewes is Jay. Kevin Smith is Silent Bob. Ethan Soup Lee is William. And I thought his name was Willie before. William. And then Stan Lee is himself. Along with Michael Rooker playing Renee's dad, I believe.
No, Brandy's dad.
Brandy's dad. I knew it was one of the two girls.
I both like this was your first time seeing it, I think, right?
Yep, and I got some stuff to say.
Oh, I know. This
there.
movie definitely does not hold its own after.
No, it doesn't even hold like to the test of time. There's a lot of stuff in here where I was like, "Youchies,
Yeah.
Kevin, what are you doing?"
I gave this movie a slight bump higher than you, because I just like Kevin Smith movies, and also I have a soft spot for Jason Lee, to be honest.
Well, I like Kevin Smith movies too. Kevin Smith's one of my favorite people, like, ever. It's just, I don't know, this one just didn't hit for me. Like, Clerks is such a good movie, and I even like the Jay and Silent Bob movies. This one, I was just like, it's okay. I can see why people like it, but it's not for me, you know?
I just have a soft spot for Jason Lee, because I like his stuff.
My Name is Earl.
Oh, hell yeah.
So good.
Which
And then-
which the show got canceled on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going around still, even to this day, that they're going to try to finish it with a movie. And I wouldn't be surprised if they get away with it at some point, especially with the streaming market. Netflix could pick it up. Peacock could pick it up, even though I don't want them to.
Or even
Amazon.
because I think because the rerun rights, no, it'll be on HBO Max, because it originally ran on TBS.
There you go, HBO Max, bring it to me. That'd be great.
That's how I know that's good, because I liked My Name is Earl. That was my show I watched.
My Name is Earl was awesome.
I watched that show a lot when I was growing up. That was on every morning before I went to the bus stop for in high school.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that show and I loved it.
I remember binging it in the course of a couple months when it was on Netflix.
It's a very interesting show to watch, because
it's stupid, but it's awesome.
Because you get Ethan
Suplee as well, yeah, he's Randy.
and Jason Lee both in there, and Ethan Suplee, if you see him now,
he's giant.
Holy
he's ripped.
Shit.
He said a while back, he said the most he weighed was in this movie, Mallrats, and then he was slowly losing weight throughout the years. If you watch him in The Ranch, the final season of The Ranch on Netflix, he's looking a little thin. He's still a little fat, but if you look at his Instagram now, he is a giant. Oh man, he looks really good. Good for him.
Yeah, he is like, hey man, you were body goals for someone kind of like me who gained a lot of weight during quarantine.
Yeah, he said all he did was he's like, I started biking. That's all I did. He's like, I just biked everywhere, and then I had a bike machine at home, and I just did that. And then he started working out more. So yeah, the Peloton stuff. And then he started working out more. So he said.
I wonder how they're gonna if they do pull the trigger on making a movie about this.
They would just say something Randy would do. He's like, one day I just started walking and I didn't stop, and look at me now.
Yeah, that could work. And he grew a beard. So yeah,
I think he needs to just shave that off.
The budget of this film and the box office numbers are fucking abysmal.
I mean, when you have a small budget, that's pretty good. But when your box office is just as low, it's not that good.
The budget of this film, guys, was $6.1 million and only made back $2.1, which is it's sad.
This is his second film, so I can understand why he went with a bigger budget. But then the movie ended up being a little bit worse because he was like, I have a bigger budget. Let's do some stuff. And then the stuff that he tried just didn't work out as well. As opposed to Clerks.
Is very true.
But as it goes on, Kevin Smith movies have gotten better and better. So,
and just so I can get the brunt of it, I'm gonna read the first, I guess, 4 things here.
The first 4. Okay, good luck.
Well, that's just to take off a lot of the pressure, because because technically the first 4 is all that was originally there on Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. Then I just started taking random stuff from Wikipedia that was there,
which we totally don't take from at all.
Yeah. But beyond that, this stuff is not cited, so who knows who the fuck wrote this? Yeah. After the success of the independent hit Clerks, writer-director Kevin Smith and his best friend producer Scott Moser began to work on their second film. After a screening of Clerks, producer James Jacks approached them to do another film for Universal Studios. Smith soon finished the script for his new film, and casting began. Jeremy London, as an actor with a TV series and a few films of his credit, was cast as T.S. Henry Thomas was the finalist of the role, no citation there, Shane Doherty was the most famous cast member after he appeared in several films and the hit TV show Beverly Hills 90210, and my bad. Jason Lee was cast with no prior acting experience.
Wow, really? He was the best character in this whole thing.
He's a relatable guy.
That's true. That's a very Kevin Smith move.
Before the film, Lee was a professional skateboarder.
Yeah, I know about
and that. Adam Sandler and Steven Zahn were the finalists. Whoa!
Dude, it says citation needed, so it might just be some guy. I heard this once, but imagine Adam Sandler as Brody. That would be an entirely different movie.
Because actually, that wouldn't make sense. Because it would. Because the '90s, Adam Sandler was.
He was young and good looking.
Was up there. Can you do a quick Google search on that Steven guy to see who he was?
Steve Zahn is a comedy actor. He was in Knights of Badassdom. He was one of the voices in one of the New Planet of the Apes movies. Okay. He's a big guy, but he's not like he's the dad from Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Okay.
Yeah, you've seen his face before. He would have worked back in the day.
Yeah, I think
But Jason Lee nailed it, I think.
Oh, he did. Seeing Adam Sandler, I guess because at the height of that, Adam Sandler was doing his Happy Gilmore or like the Happy Madison stuff.
Yeah, he was probably too busy.
Both Sandler and Steven were up for the Brody role. Ben Affleck, who was a relative unknown at the time as well, was cast as Shannon Hamilton. I can believe that.
Weird.
I think Ben Affleck wasn't too big back then either.
Ben was like just getting into acting, and he was friends with Kevin, and that's why he was in this movie. And then he came back for favors, and that's what the joke is. The running joke is he's always coming back for favors.
I like how they in the opening credits they had him as Buttman, then soon later he'd be playing Batman.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Who was relative unknown at the time. Then Shannon Hamilton, Joey Lauren, Adam was cast as Gwen Turner. She later dated Smith,
really?
and during that time, he wrote the main character in Chasing Amy for her.
Interesting.
Ethan Suplee was cast as William Black. Scott Moser was supposed to reprise the role, but Smith and the film's producers were so impressed with Suplee that they casted him instead. Once again, citation needed. All this stuff is not sourced, so who knows who wrote this.
It's all good.
The most troublesome role to the cast was Jay, as Universal did not want Jason Mewes to have the role, despite the fact that he played him in Clerks. And the character of Jay is based on him. Mewes had to audition for the part against actors such as Seth Green.
Oh my god.
And Breckenmeyer.
That's crazy. Imagine if Jay wasn't Jason Mewes. Oh my god. That hurts me in my soul. Imagine if Seth Green was saying Snoochie Boochies. Oh no, dude. I would go home.
Well,
Breckenmeyer's got some charm, but Seth Green, he was big at the time. But Seth Green, Snoochie Boochies. No thanks, dude. The robot chicken guy.
No, have him do it in Chris's voice.
Snoochie Boochies.
Oh man, the film grossed $400,000 on its Friday gross on 800 screens.
That's pretty good on 800 screens.
The film made $1.2 million its opening weekend, then grossed $2.1 million at the box office. Overall.
Yeah.
I had to take a nice cough because I'm dying of spicy nugs.
The spicy nugs.
Mallrats was the subject of much critical dissertation, right? No. Oh, God. Critical assertion when it was released, with many critics comparing its unfavorable to Smith's first film, Clerks. In his negative review of the film, critic Roger Ebert gave the film 1.5 stars out of 4, saying, "Before Mallrats was released, what was that word?
I don't know where you are.
The Roger Ebert gave this film 1.5 stars.
Before Mallrats was released, I chaired a panel.
Okay, I chaired.
It means he sat down at a panel with Kevin Smith and talked.
I shared a panel.
Chaired. That
Smith participated in. Kevin Smith cheerfully said he'd be happy to do whatever the studio wanted. if they paid for his film. At the time, I thought he was joking. Kevin Smith responded by apologizing for Mallrats at a 1996 Independent Spirit Award, though he later stated that the apology was made in jest. Despite it all, the film developed a cult following after it was released on video.
Interesting.
In 2005, a 10th anniversary DVD was released containing the original version of the film featured from the previous DVD release and all the new extended cuts of the film with over 30 minutes of additional footage and subplots.
I kind of want to watch that one. I watched the one on your Movies Anywhere, and it wasn't the 10th anniversary one.
I know. I was kind of sad that it wasn't there. All right, do you want to pick it up?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the alternate stuff now from the movie, from the 10th anniversary. So, an alternate opening scene in which Mr. Svenning hosts a ball for the governor of New Jersey, played by Elizabeth Ashley. In this scene, Quint is dressed as a colonial musket man. He accidentally gets his musket tangled up in Brandy's hair, then accidentally shoots the governor on the roof of a school, which ends up costing Michael Rooker's character his reputation as well as a big pay raise. This explains the reason why Svenning shows an intense dislike for Quint and why Brandy is so intent on breaking up with him. This scene also makes no mention of Julie Dwyer's death as the theatrical cut did. The cut subplot was referenced in the final cut of the movie, where the TV execs mentions that he shouldn't repeat what happens at the governor's ball, which is a little weird. But multiple lines throughout the movie are restored.
God, there's no paragraph here. I'm sorry about that.
I can see the break. Multiple lines through the movie are restored related to Quint's attempted assassination of the governor. Many of these have widely different reasons for having Quint on the news, such as Shannon's claim that he tried to kidnap the president's daughter, an extended sequence at Brody's house where Quint is hounded by the media as a result of his actions. I kind of want to see the extended cut, including several TV movie offers, including some scenes where Quint also makes known that he wants to propose to Brandy. A scene in which Brody and Quint arrive outside Mr. Svenning's house so Quint can try to reconcile, and during the confusion, thanks to the news crew chasing Quint, Brody implies that Mr. Svenning and Brandy are taking part in satanic rituals. Of course they are. And the news crew footage sees Svenning doing martial arts in a bath towel. Some of the footage has been re-edited, and that's what the new intro we see where Svenning, Michael Rooker, we get to see his little butt cheeks. We get to see a shot that shows... We would have got to see a shot that shows Quick Stop from Clerks, and then a new subplot showing Brody's intentions of wanting to be on television, which explains his surprised look during his appearance on Truth or Date.
Do you want me to pick up some?
Yeah, you can read the next one if you want.
An extended arrest scene in which the scene with Miss Evelyn has several restored lines. I guess that was the
fortune teller.
Yeah, the fortune teller with the fake third nipple.
She eats it at the end.
I know. What the fuck?
I think it was candy, but still.
An extended arrest scene in which LaFleurs wanted to put Brody and TS into jail for an extended period of time rather than overnight when the pair were initially arrested. An extended fight scene between Brody and and Ben Affleck's character, Shannon Hamilton, in which Hamilton tells Brody to forget Renee. An extended rant from I'm gonna say Michael Rooker's character. I'm not gonna say Sevings. An extended scene from Rooker's character as a result of T.S. letting it slip that he intended to propose to Brandy. The scene where Rooker meets Brody before he has both Brody and T.S. removed, while LaFleur has several restored lines and it ends with more finger and hand licking of the melty pretzel chocolate. Rooker chocolate by Rooker after the boys are removed.
Was that supposed to be poop, by the way?
No, so remember, I
don't remember the scene. I think I looked down because I was
remember
something.
Brody put his hand up his ass.
That's what it was.
And did the palm stink thing.
Okay, that's what it was.
That's why he was all of a sudden sick after it.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was because he pooped in the bag and then shook it up and then gave him poop-covered pretzels.
No, that would have been too obvious of a flavor.
I mean, I guess.
Oh, God.
That's what I thought
A
it
scene
was.
after True for Date in which Rooker demands to have T.S. and Brody arrested, but instead he is one who is arrested, and it turns out that Rooker was the producer of the show. He faces multiple FCC fines for Brody's antics.
Because he's being a dick on TV.
An extended Where Are They Now ending sequence in which Rooker is shown at his job at the network as a janitor, along with his production assistant still wearing his headset. Shannen Hamilton is shown screaming after his rape.
Youchies. You gotta love it.
A scene that shows
Trisha
flirting and having sex with LaFleurs in order to distract him from catching Jay and Silent Bob. This explains the final segment in which Where Are They Now ending sequence showing LaFleur kissing Trisha during the book signing.
Yeah, that was a
Still
little
weird.
weird. I thought it was just like, oh, they're hooking up, whatever.
No, I thought...
Because she was trying to
that
bang
was,
old people again.
I thought that was like, I see them in this, maybe they're related somehow, like an uncle or a family member.
I guess.
Kind of doing like the subtle kiss on the head.
Yeah, so I'll start reading some off. So, as explained by Kevin Smith in the introduction, most of the scenes were reworked because the test audience's negative reaction. Some of the dialogue had been redubbed in theatrical release, but it was restored in this version. For example, the man who runs up and is subsequently punched by Quint outside the mall near the end originally asked if he had seen Quint on CNN, whereas the theatrical cut, he asked Quint if he had the one who broke up with Brandy. Other extended scenes had notable jump cuts. The original DVD's deleted scenes reel also feature the first draft opening sequence in script form. Here, with Quint is attempting to is competing on a college game show produced by Brandy's dad. He accidentally mispronounces the answer, Bay of Biscuit, as Bay of Biscay. His team loses, and in the confusion, Quint accidentally damages a camera, and he has to pay for it. Brandy then breaks up with him, and a man on the bus mistakenly thinks Quint will kill him after seeing him on the news report. Several alternate openings with different voiceover spiels from Brody, including one where he recounts the events up to him being assaulted by Hamilton on Truth or Dare, were seen in that reel as well. The film was released on Blu-ray in 2014, and it used dialogue, noise reduction, and edge enhancement as a part of the 1990s Best Decade collection. The menus were replaced with the mandated menus for Focus logos, updated to the Universal logos, and it was released in Ultraviolet and iTunes as well through Universal. So those are all the notes we have on.
Remember when Ultraviolet was a thing?
Dude, I don't know.
You don't remember that? I remember those fucking commercials. It was an iPad thing. And I was always wanted. Because they were playing Fairly Odd Parents.
Odd Parents, Fairly Odd Parents. Alright, so let's move on to the plot of Mallrats. Do you want to open it up, Chief?
Yes. College student T.S. Quinn is preparing for a trip to Universal Studios Florida in Orlando with Brandy Spevings, during which he plans to propose to her. However,
During
Brandy
the Jaws scene.
yes, during the Jaws part of the Universal Backlot ride, during which he proposes. However, Brandy tells him she cannot go due to having volunteered. I know. My brain fucking died. Volunteered to film, to fill in as a contestant on True for Date, her father's dating game show, because the original contestant had died from an embolism bursting in her brain while swimming 700 laps at the YMCA following T.S.'s comments regarding her weight. T.S. dismisses the blame, and they argue over this and break up. T.S. turns to his best friend, Brody Bruce, who has been dumped by his girlfriend, Renee, and Brody suggests that the two might find comfort at the local mall.
Yeah. It's a super weird film. Like, when I first started watching this film, I thought Brody worked at the mall. I thought he was he worked at the comic book store.
Okay, so I think I added a bit to your notes. So remember, no, because when Strikes Back or in Reboot, they after he kind of wins his own show, it gets canceled. He then buys his own show. He buys his own shop.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
because I saw the two Jay and Silent Bob movies before I saw this one, and that's why I was confused. I was like, I thought he worked at the comic book store.
And no, that's why I added to your note saying you might not think it's canon because Brody does something. No, his show gets canceled.
Oh, okay,
and
gotcha.
He takes the money.
Yeah, there's this So like they open up this movie with a bunch of sequences like comic books.
Yes.
But the movie has like no comic book references in it at all besides Brody's room and Stan Lee.
And also
the Batman
the sex
ears
organs.
The what?
The multiple times Brody was like, is Mr. Fantastic's cock stretchy?
Yeah, but that was in the Stan Lee scene though.
There's also
And then where Bob wears the Batman cape and ears.
And also the bat and the bat grappling hook.
Yeah. But that's not like that doesn't make it a comic book movie just because there's little dumb shit in it. Like I thought it was like supposed to be about Brody working at a comic book store and then Quint goes there and then they have like clerky-esque situations at a mall. Not just people hanging out in a mall doing dumb shit.
That's what I originally thought too going into it, but I didn't really care too much.
Mm.
But hey, it's it's a decent movie nonetheless in that regard. It has like you don't see anything comic book wise, but you get subtle nods. Like we get our first like view of Blunt Man in a way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We get some stuff, but it's not the same. I don't know, man. It's a little weird. I don't know. Let's move on with the plot before I get caught up on some dumb stuff. So, Brody and Quint discover Truth or Date is being filmed at the same mall, which is what Brandy's dad runs, through their friend William, who throughout the entire film tries to see a sailboat at a Magic Eye poster. He is a wasted character. He should have been doing more stuff. Question
now, when they showed it the first time, did you see a sailboat?
I didn't even try. Did you?
This is my third time watching this movie. I can't see a fucking thing.
I didn't even try. The two ask local slackers Jay and Silent Bob to destroy the show's stage, a task for which they devise elaborate but ultimately unsuccessful plans. Brody and Quint run into Trisha Jones, a 15-year-old senior who is writing a book on the sex drive of men ages 14 to 30. I have many problems with this. We'll get to it later. For which she has sex with various men as research and films every encounter. Also have problems with that. She then reveals that the previous night she had sex with Shannen Hamilton, a 25-year-old clothing store manager who hates Brody because of his lack of shopping agenda. That's just dumb.
Well, hell, okay. You say I will remember. She gets consent for the filming.
No. I have it in my notes. I just have to talk about it when we get there.
Brody then learns that Renee has begun a relationship with Shannen. Brody confronts
Bro, it's been a day.
To find out more about the relationship. The two have sex in a very large elevator,
and it's also the longest elevator ride in the history of the world.
I think probably what he does. I think he does the emergency stop.
Maybe
because remember, because it reopens on the same floor.
Yeah.
In a very large elevator, Brody is later abducted and attacked by Shannen, who intends to have sex with Renee in a very uncomfortable place, probably a Volkswagen. As a result of the incident, Jay and Silent Bob assault the mall's Easter Bunny. I love that scene. Under the incorrect assumption that he attacked Brody.
It's cool that Jay and Silent Bob are actually like friends with Brody and Quint, as opposed to Dante and the guy from the first one, Randall, and they do not like Jay and Silent Bob. I mean, Randall kind of does, but not really, and Dante just kind of puts up with them because they're there, you know.
Yeah. But I just love the scene when they beat the fuck out of the Easter Bunny.
That's a pretty good one. Brandy's father, Jared, has Brody and Quint arrested on false charges of drug possession at the mall. Jay and Silent Bob are able to rescue Brody and Quint, and they hide out in the local flea market, where they meet topless fortune teller Ivana, who gives them both advice on their relationship problems. Quint decides to win Brandy back, and the two return to the mall.
This movie pushed its R rating to the max.
Dude, yeah, they had a couple scenes of boobies in it. Like, they had Chasing Amy, like, titties and, like, trying on panties and stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
this is a lot. Like, this doesn't seem like a Kevin Smith movie. This is, like, extra horny. And then we have Ivana with her fucking 3 nipples just hanging out for, like, a good 10 minutes. I was like, this is weird. This is super weird.
Yeah, I'm all like, hey, like sex sells in a movie,
Oh, for sure.
but there's a point at which where it's just a little bit too much.
It's too gratuitous. And this wasn't even like it was forced. It was just weird. You know what I mean? Like there's forced nudity, and there's just weird nudity. Like, this didn't need to be here.
Like how I'm gonna give it like an instance
Who
of
tries
like,
a leather jacket with no shirt on?
yeah,
Who does that?
who knows?
It was just weird. It was just weird.
I'm gonna I give an example of which in like Hangover Part 2, where they go to the she-male strip club. Like that's like, cause it's there. You see tits for like a good 5 minutes, but the payoff at the end is amazing.
Well, also, yeah, that's funny. But, like, it makes sense. They're going to a strip club. They're hanging out at the mall.
Well, at a
and then they go to the
flea
market. And then they go to the flea market, and then they see the topless fortune teller. And I was like, this is just a little weird.
Like, but I was okay with the ones in the mall because they're quick. They were snappy.
I guess, yeah.
It's not like with this one where it's like, it was just like, oh, okay, we're just watching this.
Yeah, it was just like, here it is, here's some boobies. So, before the show begins, Brody meets famed Marvel legend Stan Lee, R.I.P., who gives him advice on romance, which is weird. After this, Brody requests that his friend Trisha Jones retrieve footage of her having sex with Shannen. I have problems. Meanwhile, Quint also persuades Jay to get the two on the game show the other two guys in the game show stoned, which allows Brody and Quint to replace them on Truth or Date.
I want to talk about this Stan Lee stuff. Like, it was weird when he gets romantic advice, because Stan Lee has always been like, he loved his wife to death.
Yeah, I know. So it was weird that he was like, the one that got away. I was like, he was like mad obsessed with his wife. He was like the first ever simp.
Yeah. I also like, you mentioned, it's him with a beard is fucking amazing.
Oh, he looked good with the beard. I was like, damn, why'd they make him shave his beard for every Marvel cameo? Like, what the hell, man? He looks great with a beard.
Well, okay, there's also a slight rumor as to why they kind of did that. I will talk to you about that either after the notes or after the plot summary.
Sure.
Yeah, like I loved this is one of my favorite cameos by Stan Lee. On top,
it's not even really a cameo. He's like in the movie.
Well, like it's that. Then also like I am also I loved his cameo, of course, in Captain Marvel because it's a Mallrats reference, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I miss Stan Lee's cameos.
Yeah.
There was a rumor going around that Stan Lee was supposed to be Old Man Cap at the end of Endgame.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if I was talking about it with you or if I was talking about it with my other friends, but there was this rumor, like I said before, where he was supposed to be Cap. The only cameo that wouldn't have made sense would have been the Captain Marvel one, where he's reading the Mallrats script, which would have been weird. And then the one where he shows up in Captain America: The First Avenger as the war veteran. Other than that, though, he could have been. Other than that, he could have been Old Man. He could have been Old Man Steve the whole time. Other than those two,
I think.
You're
right.
Maybe the one in Ragnarok. That was a little weird, where he was the space barber. Maybe that one.
That is true. Like I was thinking about that. Well, no, I'm really thinking about it now because you brought up like individual ones.
Yeah, like if you think about it as a whole, it would be really cool. But, like, if you pick out a couple of them, you're like, yeah, the theory is a little off, but, like, they could have made it work.
Yeah.
It's Marvel.
During the show, Brandy recognizes the voice of Brody and T.S.
But after, like, doing a lot of bullshit for a couple minutes.
After an on-air argument
I would have recognized Jason Lee immediately. I would have been like, this is not the guy. This is obviously Brody. What's going on?
After an on-air argument between them ensues...
What's making Whoopi?
Aren't you about fucking? Brody ultimately gets the two of them to stop arguing, explaining that TS has been pinning for Brandy all day. Then TS proposes to Brandy and she accepts. As the police arrive to arrest TS and Brody after the show is over, Silent Bob plays the sex tape of Shannen and Trisha, resulting in his arrest of statutory rape.
I have problems.
Before Renee renews the relationship as well, as a result. Cool.
So the conclusion reveals that that Quint marries Brandy at Universal Studios while in the Jaws attraction. Trisha's book's a bestseller. Weird, I have problems. Shannen is imprisoned and subsequently raped. Super fucking weird. William eventually does see the sailboat. Dumb. And Brody becomes a host on The Tonight Show, which is weird, with Renee as his band leader. And Jay and Silent Bob get an orangutan named Suzanne, which I think shows up in Strikes Back.
I think Strikes Back, but but they...
It's a different monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I want to see who raped Shannen, to be honest. I'm kind of curious.
God, the actor?
I want to see.
I don't remember who it was. It was probably The Big Show. Just because.
But man, this film aged worse than Clerks, to be honest.
It aged like a fine cottage cheese.
That it did.
So, I'll start off with my mid-movie notes as you look up who raped Ben Affleck. So, I said, this movie feels like the most indie film Kevin Smith has ever done. And that's saying something because Clerks is a thing. Next up, that chick died. What the fuck is this line of dialogue? Where she swam 700 laps and then died. I didn't realize that it was connected. I kind of like it a little bit more now that I know it's connected to Clerks. But I kind of hate it because it's just dumb. Michael Rooker is the dad. That's cool. He's got some golden cheeks right there. Jason Lee is great, but the scene is mad weird where he's introduced. Where he's like, he wakes up and he looks for his controller. And then he like just starts playing video games. I'm like, what's happening? Why is this? Why?
We don't find out. I tried seeing it.
It's just weird. Oh, you don't find out who the actor is? It's probably nobody. Or it's probably one of his friends.
But I think to touch on your note, Shannen does get mentioned in Chasing Amy, but it's not Ben Affleck who's in Chasing Amy. So the character of Shannen.
Oh yeah. I'll get there. Yeah. A line of dialogue that I liked but wasn't able to make sense of it in my review was "Touch not, lest you be touched," which I thought was just funny.
Yeah.
I said Ben fucking Affleck. Didn't know he was in this movie. Does he play two characters in this franchise, or is it the same character? It's two different characters. Yeah. It's Shannen, and then I think the other one's name is like, oh god, is it like fucking Franco or something?
I think so.
Ethan Suplee is really believable here.
Yeah.
He's just got really good delivery. That's what it is. In everything Ethan is in, he's got really, really good delivery. So it was really cool. Jay and Silent Bob, they're the boys. Jason looks like a baby. Somehow he looks younger in Clerks than he did, but maybe it's because it's in color.
Yes, definitely.
The name of the fucking cookie store in there is called Time for Cookies, which I thought was super funny.
I love their dialogue of like, that's not a food court option. That is a mid-mall snack location. That's a very cool. Like, hey, I like that. I like that bit of dialogue between them.
Yeah, I got a little bit of facts right here about that Superman and Lois thing. So, and I know this is like 20 years later, but Superman and Lois do have a kid, but it's when Superman goes back to an alternate Krypton or on a Kryptonian-style planet where there is a red sun with Lois because he's afraid she'll die giving birth to their super child. So there is concern, but it's not about the sperm. So,
okay,
I had to fix that up.
Blow it out her back.
Yeah, poof. Does Brody not work at the mall? Thought he worked at the comic book store. We got that.
Yes.
Mighty Mouse striptease. I would have loved to see that. That would have been hilarious.
Just a cutaway gag.
I said, look, it's Chasing Amy. Same question as Ben Affleck. Two different characters.
Yep.
Ew, she's 15 and she's boning 30-year-olds. Hard pass, bro. Next note. 15 and 25, bye. I can understand if she was 17 or 18 because that's legal in some states, but she's 15, dude. Kevin, no. No, Kevin. Kevin,
no.
Walt Flanagan, tell him, Steve Dave. Is that Brian Johnson? Oh shit, it is. Yeah, no, those are just some of Kevin Smith's friends that I recognize from Comic Book Men and their podcast. Tell him, Steve Dave. But, that whole, like, Trisha Jones character, take her out of the movie. absolutely disgusting and ridiculous. Why is that even a character? If I ever had the chance to sit down and talk to Kevin Smith, that would be the only thing I would ask him. Why Trisha Jones? Why is she 14 banging 30-year-olds?
15 banging 30-year-olds.
It doesn't matter. It's still the same.
I have to correct you.
Like, I understand if she was 15 and she was banging 14 to 18-year-olds, because if you're still in high school, there's that whole, like, Romeo and Juliet clause thing that Michael Bay brought up in Transformers 4, but whatever. So it's like, sure, but she says her age range is 14 to 25, and a book publisher gave her a huge advance to make the book. A book publisher promoted child, like, sex slavery.
Yeah.
Not slavery, but, like, child sex, like, not cool, man. It was super weird. That was the weirdest plot line there was. I was like, what is happening? Why is this a thing?
Well, you had to find a way for Brody to get Shannen.
Punch him in the face. Punch him in the face.
He's Ben fucking Affleck. He'll kill you.
Yeah, because Ben Affleck's jaw is like a fucking razor blade.
God.
Ugh. Anyway, back to my notes. Boobies!
Yes, that was Brandy's character.
No, that wasn't Brandy. That was Amy's Chasing Amy.
I thought her name was Brandy in this movie.
No.
It is.
No, Brandy is the girlfriend.
Oh shit, right. No, it was I don't think. Oh, it was Gwen.
Gwen, yeah. Where she's trying on the leather jacket with no shirt on. I was like, why?
She was a bombshell back in the day.
She's good looking. Don't get me wrong. It was just like, it was weird. I was like, why is this happening? Anyway, Ben is a little baby face man.
Yes, he is.
I didn't know he was an unknown actor at this point, which is funny. Brody has a cup with nothing in it since he started this entire movie. The cup has had like nothing in it. He knocks into Shannen right at the beginning when he walks into the mall, and then he just carries the cup until he gets it refilled with Coke.
As far as we know, he gets it like filled up off camera with Coke, no ice.
That's just ridiculous. He just has a cup. Longest elevator ever. Is it broken?
It could be. Once again, it could be the emergency stop.
Yeah.
But also, the elevator's fucking huge. What mall elevator is the size of my bedroom?
Yeah, that was a large-ass fucking elevator. I was like, what's happening? Inside the elevator, there's a line where she's like, too little, too late, and they talk about his dick, and I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, that's a good line.
Too little.
Elbow to the boobie. That was pretty good. Quint turns around and elbows Gwen in the boob, and then she just fucking like rocks his dick. I was like, that sucks.
We're such fucking children.
I was like,
boobies.
I was like, it was an accident. He didn't mean to elbow your tit on purpose. And then you fucking knock him in the balls.
She dropped down and went full like axe swing up.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's the worst ever. No. Walt Flanagan with a wig and a mustache, where he's on the stage carrying the podium. That's the same guy as who yelled, "Tell him, Steve Dave." I love Walt. He's great. That arm metaphor is fucking facts, dude. Like, Courtney was sleeping while I was watching this movie, but I wanted her to see that scene and just point at it and go, because like, not the metaphor is facts, but like the whole scene with the arm where it's like you put the one arm around her, but where the fuck do you put the other arm? You put the other arm over your head, but then it gets dislocated, and then you gotta like knock it back into place. Where do you put the other arm? That's my question, guys. Where do you put the other arm?
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, because like the other arm is just like dead. Anyway, now he's filling up the cup. Ben is definitely not the same character. Stanley looks great with a beard. Dante's looking like a baby. He has a mullet and no beard, and he looks like a fucking child.
Yeah, it's weird on how he looks like age differently wise.
Yeah, I my next note is I feel like Kevin filmed this movie first and then did Clerks. Everyone looks so much younger. I think it's just Dante shaved though. I don't know. It's just because everybody was clean shaven and like with Hollywood cameras and stuff. Airplane jerk off joke. That was fucking funny. This movie is just okay. I had a different vision in my head. They say the R word a lot. The good old days, back when he could say words. They arrested him for boning a minor, but it was consensual. Not excusing it, because it's still gross, but she's also writing a book about it. Isn't that fucked up too? Why was this the plot point? I was talking about this in my head. I was trying to set up this
Why?
So if I don't even know if I mentioned it while we were filming this episode because I just want to reiterate it. But if Brody's plan was for Trisha to go get the sex tape between her and Shannen, wouldn't Brody also get arrested at the same time for having known about the sex tape? He would, because basically he'd be like, look, here's child porn on live TV. Wouldn't Brody get in trouble because he talked about it? He wouldn't get in trouble because eventually Trisha would say that it was hers, but wouldn't Brody also get arrested for that stunt?
I don't think so because he's bringing evidence forward. I think the network would get in trouble for airing child pornography.
Maybe.
God, I might have to bleep some of this stuff. Actually, fuck it.
That's part of the movie.
Talk about the movie.
Talk about the movie. So, I don't know, man. It was just super weird. That whole Trisha Jones character, I was like, she could have been so much better if they just made her, the smart, sassy girl who showed up every couple scenes and just made fun of Quint and Brody and Jay and Silent Bob for being stupid. Yeah. Instead, she was this little sex girl. I was like, this is weird.
Well, remember, in her freaking her title crawl was weapon sex.
Yeah, that's why I thought she was. I didn't even recognize that was the same character when the movie first started up. But I thought she was just gonna be just this smart nerdy girl who was gonna be sassy every once in a while because she was a young kid. It ended up being way worse. And then I said, don't think this ending is canon to the View Askewniverse because Brody doesn't do shit afterwards. And then you mentioned that it was. So
yeah, it was mentioned in I think Strikes Back.
Yeah, where he won his own game show and then he the money or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so before I have my movie notes, but I witnessed something. So I have it up. I'm gonna share my screen with you. People might not be able to see it. So I'm gonna share my screen.
If it's a picture, just show the audience when you edit it.
I can't share my screen. I'm gonna take a picture of it, then send it to you.
Okay, cool.
So there actually is a production guy that you can see. I can't, of course, because everything just sucks nowadays. I can't screen cap anything because shit sucks, and they don't want me to leak anything. Okay, so in the comic book scene, you see a sound guy in the background, like legit a sound guy.
Cool, I guess.
At 28 minutes 30 seconds, you see a guy wearing a headset and a voice box for it. So yeah,
that's cool. I didn't even notice it. I was too busy thinking about that whole fucking Trisha character. I was like, why?
Remember, I analyze scenes. Okay.
Yeah.
My movie notes: Michael Rooker butt cheeks.
Yeah, dude.
God. Very mean to fart when getting head. Because they talked about that in one scene. Where Brody once farted when he was getting head from Renee. I'm like, that's mean. That's very mean.
That's a big fear I have. You just gotta hope and pray it doesn't happen.
Yes. This is when they got the sock full of quarters. Where did they get the quarters from? They're Jay and Silent Bob. They don't got money.
They probably just stole it. Or drugs.
And forgot in the 90s, real men didn't read comic books or collect them. Mm-hmm. Sleeping till 1 p.m. is not bad.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Read your next note.
Fuck you. Jay and Silent Bob beating the shit out of the Easter Bunny is golden.
That was a good scene.
I think this is when they went up to the two other contestants. I said, I think Jay had no script for that.
I don't think Jay ever has a script.
That's fair enough.
When he's playing himself, essentially.
Then my reiteration that this is kind of tied with Captain Marvel in a way, that this movie exists in the Captain Marvel universe. Therefore, Captain Marvel kind of exists within the outside world of the View Askew universe.
In a way, yes.
And that was really all my notes. If I can... I'm so mad I can't have the fucking picture to show you. I'm so upset. I'm legit, like, so upset right now.
It's all good. I'll look at it. I'll look at it. I'll look it up online, see if I can find it there.
I'll see if I can do something on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you can find it, shoot it up and post it here.
No,
right now.
I'll post it where I originally fucking talked about it.
But also do it here, right now.
No, fuck you.
Ready, Zach? Now.
I hate you. I hate everything about you.
Zach, now.
I'll kill you.
Anyway, let's move on to the review section before we close up with our personal reviews. So, the review website Rotten Tomatoes lists a 57% positive rating of Mallrats based on 46 reviews. The site's critics' consensus reads, Mallrats colorfully expands the View Askew universe, even if its Snoochies has lost some of its Boochies boasted by its beloved predecessor. Zach, you gave this movie just a little bit higher than me. Can you give me the good review, por favor?
Yes, I can. This is Allison Rose off of Flick Direct, 4 out of 5. London and Lee expertly lead the cast of Misfit Toys in an appropriate follow-up to the Smiths' debut of Clerks.
I do not agree with that. Bad review. Bob Thomas from Associate Press. He gave it a rotten score. How can a reviewer write about a movie that makes Dumb and Dumber seem like Merchant Ivory production?
That was okay. I had to go with the harshest one possible that I saw.
That's like the worst review ever. Oh my god. This movie's not that bad.
And to be on note, both of those reviews are from, well, I think the bad one is from 2019. The first one is like from a couple months ago.
Yeah, the only bad thing about getting reviews from Rotten Tomatoes is not all of them were made when the movies came out. But I still feel like that's good because we're giving our personal reviews in the year we're watching the movie. So, you know.
Yes, and we also are sharing reviews from people who saw it recently. Yeah.
So, I gave this movie 5 Snoochie Boochies out of 10.
I gave this a 5.5, proposing on the Universal Tour Jaws section out of 10.
This movie is fine. It's definitely not what I expected it to be, but it fits in the View Askew universe. Personally, as of right this second, it is in my View Askew ranking at the bottom, underneath Clerks 1. Right now, it's Clerks at number 1, Mallrats at number 2. As we go through the View Askew universe on this podcast, I will update my rankings accordingly.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I think this is one of the more weaker ones out of
this.
All
this one is along the lines of the animated Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Like
there.
I still personally think, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this. I think like a movie that is not as weak as this was definitely the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
I love that movie. It was great.
I like it, but it's not as strong as I would want it to be.
Oh no, I totally believe you. I get it. I think my favorite movie is probably Clerks. You can't beat Clerks, dude.
Oh yeah, no one can beat Clerks.
I love Jay and Silent Bob. I like Yoga Hosers. Tusk is awesome.
Tusk is gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Tusk is fantastic. I like what's that movie? No, I don't like Chasing Amy, but I like the characters in Chasing Amy, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think the movie is slow and drawn out and meh, but the characters are really well written.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of other stuff. Like, I like the View Askew. I'm interested. If there's, what is the reboot the final film in the franchise?
Technically, yes, if you don't count the horror movies that Kevin Smith puts out. Kevin Smith is doing a trilogy of Canadian-based horror movies. The first one was Tusk. The second one is Yoga Hosers, and the third one is Moose Jaws, which will canonically kill Silent Bob. So.
Really?
Yep, he said that's going to be Silent Bob's final movie appearance when it does come out, which is why he delayed it until after Jay and Silent Bob reboot came out.
Okay, that's cool.
It was supposed to come out in 2019, or last year, but then with the Jay and Silent Bob reboot coming out last year, he wanted his timeline to be set proper. So,
I do like the references in reboot where Kevin Smith's just a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking funny. He's like, "Fuck you guys, I like money, woo!"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some fun shit. So,
right.
without further ado, Zachy boy, feed us that outro.
Let me just wet my whistle a little bit.
Wet that whistle, big boy.
Thank you guys for listening and watching. You can follow us on Instagram at Box Office Losers and on Twitter at Box Losers, but mainly follow the Instagram. That's kind of where we post whenever the episode is released and other random art that we find. Twitter, I'm probably going to have to give that over to you because you're better at hashtags than I am.
I just don't use Twitter in general. I hate Twitter.
Understandable.
I don't even use it personally. Like, people just complain too much on Twitter. I just like Instagram.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and on Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts are found. Leave a review, share with your friends. Really, it'd be great to do that. I recently saw one of my friends at a game store. He actually said he listened to one of our episodes, so that was pretty dope.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you, friend.
Yes. Hunter, where can they find you?
You can find me at Scruffy Moose Man on all social media platforms. You can find me every Tuesday at 10 a. Every other Tuesday at 10 a.m. at Pound That Button, which is the PlayStation podcast. You can find me every Wednesday, except for this last week because so technically this week because we skipped an episode because my coworker and co-host is sick. But you can find it every Wednesday at 10 a.m. at Android's Amazing Podcast. And now Thursday, you can find Farthest Galaxy, a Star Wars podcast, every Thursday at 10 a.m. I host it with my buddy Alex. We just talk the wars, man. Go check out the trailer. It's super fun. It's like a 37-minute trailer, but that's also because it's kind of episode 0. So give us a little slack. And thank you guys so much for listening to all the podcasts we do. Zachy boy, where can we find you?
You can find me at Dark Shadow Zake, literally everywhere.
Look at him go. He's everywhere.
When I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. I have capitalized on that name. You can also find me on the Sports Hit List every Thursday for the AEW Injection, which I host with my co-host Nick, Mr. No Days Off. We just talk about AEW and the recent episodes and everything. Yeah, I think that will do it for today, guys.
Sounds cool.
I'm going to do an old outro I used to do for a lot of stuff. I think you know it. Don't forget, guys, have a good day, night, morning, afternoon, whenever the hell you're listening to this. Peace out.
Peace.
Oh, son of Jarrell! Kneel before Zahn! Snoochie Boochies!